Order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Jamie, since you were on vacation, we'll let you start us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Nina, could you please do the roll call?
Mayor Lynch,
Here.
Member Collins, Member Lewis,
Here.
Member Sonity,
Here.
Member Williams.
Here.
We have the approval of minutes from the February 9th meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 9th, 2021 meeting.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Steve, seconded by Jamie. Is there any questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Unfinished business, release of maintenance bond for Twilla Development.
Madam Chairman, I am going to ask that the board table this again. As I indicated, we're working through various issues and we're not quite there yet.
Okay. We need a motion to table.
I make a motion to table the release of the maintenance bond Twilla Development.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Steve, seconded by Scott. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Revision to General Order 10 of the PPD.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
So, Attorney Whitten and I have been talking about this, this rule and reg change that we were looking at for the rider policy. And as we're kind of digging into our rules and regs more, we're realizing there's a lot of things that need to be addressed. It's been a while. Some of the stuff is outdated. I think that instead of kind of piecemealing things together and bringing them here one at a time, we probably need to do a more of a comprehensive, kind of examination of the whole thing. So after the conversations that we had last week, we had gone back, Dan and I had gone back, looked at that policy, changed one or two things that we had a question with, but then as we kind of started looking at the whole thing, we're like, some of the wording in the whole thing is just goofy. Like I said, some of the stuff is just outdated, and so at this point, I kind of would like to just step back, try to find a plan to look at this thing as a whole, and then maybe bring more of a total package to you all at some point. As far as what we were looking to get changed with the riders, I still have the authority, I believe, to limit some of that stuff with the concerns that you had with liability, even without that policy being in place in the interim. So I think that's not an issue, but it just seems at this point it's probably best to just bring you more, instead of hitting you up every week. Maybe we'll bring more of a complete package to you at some point once we figure out how we're going to go about that. Does that sound about right for the conversation we've had?
I would agree with the chief. We've gone through some of the policies, and his statements that they're antiquated and some of them just don't seem to apply is probably an understatement.
Probably.
So we've got some work to do there, but and we're in, so we'll get Graham and bigger bulk and work through them.
So do we remove that from the agenda until further notice instead of tabling it every 2
Yeah, I don't
weeks?
need to table it, so I think for the minutes, the chief has withdrawn his request for the policy change at this time, and no further action is required.
The only thing I would ask, and I'm sure that you're thinking along the same lines, Chief and Dan, is that if there are a lot of changes, that you could get them to us, get them to Nina to get in Dropbox, to give us some time to review those. It would be helpful to the board.
Yeah, we had talked. I mean, from what I'm digging into, there's no way I could send you everything. I mean, that would be way too overwhelming. So what we're going to try to do is take
Summarize
sections.
it.
Yeah, and try to take sections, figure it out, and then. But we need to come up with a plan on how we're even going to go about that. It's quite the undertaking. A lot of departments have gone with outside sources that they're paying to actually go through, do them, consult with them and things. With the financial status of the city right now, I understand that's probably not an option for us, so we're trying to figure out how we can go about it to get it done. So
My only thinking is if it's fairly comprehensive and somewhat complicated to your department, then it's going to be even more so for us. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so as the chief was indicating, I mean, in a perfect world, what cities have done in towns, and some that I represent actually, have, for ordinances, all those sorts of things, it's very expensive. And given our, chief indicated, given our financial constraints right now, I suggested, as in speaking with Ted and Mike, that we start prioritizing, picking, our most important policies and working our way through it. It's a deep dive, it's a daunting task for the police department and frankly for us, but I think it's our best bet right now. And, maybe in the future, some years down the road, if the city's, recovered from its financial constraints that it finds itself in, maybe we will, talk about getting some bids outside, but I can tell you out of the gate, it's cost prohibitive right now.
Gotcha. So we do need a motion to remove this from the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's withdrawn his request, that's good enough.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll need that motion.
No,
We don't need a motion even? Okay. Okay, moving on, we have new business and we have the St. Peter's German Fest. Is someone here?
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Jillian Speckard. I'm the one that's heading German Fest this year, along with the help of Roe. He was supposed to be here today, but was not able to because of work, so I came instead. So we are seeking approval for our permit for September
24th to the 26th.
Thank you, yep. As of right now, our plan is to pretty much do the same thing as we've done in past years, having the event on Saturday. We're talking about doing a Friday evening event. That is, there's nothing set in stone for that yet at all. I just had a baby, so we are just now getting started with all of this. So the other thing that we wanted to mention, though, is we are trying to get the permit now, but there is a possibility that we are just going to cancel again for this year and just try next year because we are already so late in the year. Since it's such a big event, getting started with everything this late in the year just may not be the right move for us. So that's all that we have to present to you right now. Any questions?
So Dan, we can go ahead and approve it, right? If you want to withdraw, Jillian, then that's fine.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you talked to the park department?
We have not yet. I've talked to them about our contract, and that's in the works, but we had to come here to get the permit from you guys first.
Okay.
But we have not talked to them in depth about anything else quite yet.
Okay, and I do see you're going to be serving alcohol. Do you have security?
We will. Again, we're just getting started with all of this,
Yes.
so we have nothing in the works, but yes, that will be.
Okay.
Yes.
Steve, if I can chime in, the way that they're organized is wonderful. We experienced it before. The way they get everything blocked off, it's no problem for us at all.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Jillian, I have a question, more or less a response, because I know that the fee was paid last year for the rental, so make sure that the park, because you canceled last year, so your fee should still be good.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to pay that again.
Yep. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we'll need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we grant the permit for the St. Peter's German Fest on September 24th through 26th.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Jamie, seconded by Steve. Was there any further discussion, any more questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you.
Good luck.
We have the 2021 paving bids.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is for the 2021 street paving and repair project. It's our hope that this is round one. As I believe many of you know, we did make application through Community Crossings for funding for this year. So we're hoping to get some good news from the state in the months to come. But this is for the first round, or hopefully the first round. It appears that we've received two bids. one from Walsh and Kelly, and the second from Reith Riley. The first bid I'm opening up is from Walsh and Kelly, Inc., 1700 East Main Street, Griffith, Indiana, 46319.
This is so exciting, AJ.
And the winner is?
Yeah, it's better than the Emmys.
First bid is for $835,982.28. Second bid is from Reith Riley Construction Company, Inc., 7500 West 5th Avenue, Gary, Indiana, 46406. Reith Riley's bid is $824,887.82. Those are the two bids we received. I'd make a motion that we table this, allow staff to review the bids, work with Attorney Witten to make sure everything's in order, and be back at a subsequent meeting with a recommendation.
I think that motion needs to come from the board, correct, Mayor?
Yes.
So I'll make a motion that we take these two bids under advisement for further review by staff and our attorney, Mr. Witten, for the 2021 paving projects.
Round one.
Round one, yes.
Second.
We have a motion by Scott, seconded by Steve, to table, to take the bids under advisement until Dan can review them. Is there any further questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
AJ. We have Tag Day Solicitor's Permit Policy. I believe everyone received that.
Was that in Dropbox?
No, I just got it out this morning.
Is this it here that you
That's
passed
it.
out?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have one.
You have an extra copy?
I have an extra copy right here. Thank you.
Sue's got one?
We have one.
So this particular document just addresses where the tag days and solicitations can take place, is that correct?
Correct.
So it doesn't address any of the other precautions that need to take place?
No.
Well, I think that's something we need to talk about. Obviously, what's being considered here is whether or not we lift the moratorium, correct? Is that right?
Right.
Right. So I think there needs to be, I don't know, I'll defer to Attorney Witten. Do we need to include any discussion or guidelines in respect to social distancing, mask, proper PPE and those types of things in terms of vests and Or is that already addressed?
I don't have it, I'm sorry, I don't have a copy.
It's got on the back page, on the back of the page, it addresses a little bit of it, of just, you know, having to be 16 years old. The Board of Works shall set the start and finish time.
I don't know, one of the things that was, thank you, Nina. I don't know, one of the things that was brought up before, I think Member Sonity brought it up, was the number of people in the intersection. And that we don't want to overcrowd the intersections with the individuals, that they want to sort of rotate people through. And I thought that was a good suggestion. So I don't know if that's something we want to take up as a part of our discussion. You remember that, Member Sonity?
Yes, yes, I do.
I think the other thing we talked about was clearly identifying who you are. What cause are you collecting for? Because there's been confusion in the past, and people have given money to people thinking they were something else. So it needs to be clearly defined who you are collecting money for.
Is this document, is this part of an existing ordinance?
It is our ordinance, yes.
So does the ordinance committee and the city council need to possibly address this, of some of these concerns, and then make those recommended changes at a council meeting?
I would think so.
I would
If
think
we're going to change an
so.
ordinance, we want to roll it through the city council.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. In fact, I'm in favor of getting these organizations to start having tag days. I think it's important to them. A lot of them rely on that money for them to exist and operate. But I think we need to formalize it and include some of the things that we're concerned about. And we're having an ordinance meeting meaning the council, next Tuesday at 5 o'clock. So maybe these are some things that we can discuss and get this. I don't know if we probably won't be able to get it on the agenda for the council meeting on the 2nd, but I don't want to complicate the process, but at the same time, I want to make sure our concerns, and we're comprehensive here and making sure that we have the right document.
Scott?
Yes.
What? Oh, I have a question. While you're going through your ordinance meeting, it says the following designated intersections. They have Central Avenue and Willowdale. I don't think you should be soliciting there. You've got a cemetery on the southeast corner, southwest corner, and an auto deep shop on there. There's really no safe place for, somebody to stand,
Yeah, I agree. I think that should be Central Avenue and Willow Creek. That may be a typo. I don't know.
Well, we've never had
No,
them.
we've had people at Willowdale
We have?
on the curve, yeah.
Yeah.
The Vietnam veterans did. I know
Did
they
they?
did.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I
But-
don't think you should have it
But I don't
on
think we
Willow Creek.
advised that recently. I think we took that intersection out, and what we did is kind of confine everybody to Central Avenue and Irving, and sometimes Central Avenue and Vivian.
Vivian.
I think just those two locations were what we've been doing.
Yeah, I think that's the best. Even if you went as far as Central and Hamstrom, because I've known before, I've had to solicit there years ago,
So, okay, so your recommendation is to remove Willowdale
Yes.
and
just
add Willow Creek and
I don't think
Hamstrom?
I don't think you should have
No,
Willow Creek
not
at
Willow
Central.
Creek. We never allowed it on Willow Creek. I
Okay.
don't think we did we?
Oh, we've had them there. I've seen them there, yes.
Really?
It's been a while, because it's too busy.
Well, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you.
I think you should omit the Willowdale and Central and not to add Willow Creek in Central.
Okay, so what about Hamstrom?
You could put that on. They're all three in, down the road. Most of them do Irving, but
So
Yes.
are we saying that the three
Coming out of the-
intersections?
Pardon?
I'm sorry. Are we saying that the three intersections that you all are stating will be the only three that solicitors or tag days will be able to participate in those
Right.
intersections? Okay.
correct, Julie.
All right, so the other items that you want the ordinance, if we're going that route, the ordinance committee to take up in terms of considering amending this ordinance would be restricting the number of participants at any time. Well, how many do you think that should be?
Well, I think that's up to the ordinance committee. I think that should be your
Yeah.
discussion.
What I was talking about, if say you're going eastbound and you got 2 or 3 people collecting, that's too many. If you have one person that's going eastbound, one going west and out of Strack's parking lot and from the south, coming from the south on Irving, that is enough. I mean, I don't think you should have 2 or 3 people at each intersection in the same lane.
Yeah, I'm just making some notes on the things.
And then all the COVID-19 conditions, safety conditions we need to add in that.
Right.
But should those be separate? Because COVID will be over. We're gonna have an ordinance that talks about social distancing. It'll be.
So I think what we do is we
obsolete,
simply put something in here, a little more clarifying language that indicates that the Board of Works at its discretion can implement additional health concern restrictions. I mean,
Okay.
because you're right, I mean, who knows what the next thing will be, but I mean, hopefully nothing for a long time, but let's just put some discretionary language in here to bolster it up that says that you guys have, the ability to it's discretionary on your part, and you have the ability to impose health concern kind of restrictions.
All right, that's good.
Leave ourselves the open.
All right, I made some notes, and we have another member of the ordinance committee here, so what I forgot, Councilperson Podorski, make sure that we include that. Thank you, you got my back.
Yeah, and I think everything else is on the back where they have to get a reflective vest. You need an identification of what organization they are.
Yeah,
No children under 16. Sometimes you have those baseball
Got
teams.
the Little League.
Young kids.
Young kids out there, so that has to be enforced because we don't want to be liable for any kind of accident.
yeah, we'll make sure that, obviously, the things are in there, if we feel they need to stay, they'll stay.
Okay.
Is that, okay. All right, thank you for your input.
So I don't think we need a vote or anything on that, do we, Dan? We're just
Not at this point, no.
moving it on to the ordinance committee. Okay, we have the bulk item appeals. Randy?
Madam Mayor, there's no bulk item appeals for any reason.
No, because there was so much snow, they couldn't put the trash
They're
out.
buried
They couldn't
under the snow.
find the trash.
Way to cover the evidence, Randy.
Well, that was welcome. We have the claims of $332,190.53. Nina, I have a question on the proven one, because I know I had asked you if
We've
that
not
was
gotten
the
a revised
amount,
bill
and then
yet.
they submitted an invoice and you said it was incorrect. Did that ever get corrected?
I don't have a new one yet.
You never got a corrected invoice?
Nope.
Okay. Are there any other questions on the claims, guys?
No.
No.
What was LEAF again? We talked about this earlier.
It's a leasing company for
Leasing.
the copy machines.
Gotcha, okay, thank you.
Could you repeat that?
It's a leasing company for the copy machines.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, Nina, all copy machines are under leaf now. There are no stragglers out there, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I do have a question on the Baker Tilly invoice. Did we have a not to exceed on that in that contract?
Well, there's a couple different contracts. Some was for the GO bond, some was for budgets, and the Paige had met, virtually with department heads. And there's also the bank reconciliation that comes along with it, going back to 2017.
Because I do recall the language in that contract that there were some line items that were not to exceed, and then there was an hourly rate that did not fall under the not to exceed. I just want to make sure that,
I can go back and look.
yeah, okay.
I'll take a look as well. I think you're correct, Scott, and as is Nina, the various contracts.
So that might need to be clarified because was two separate things.
Yeah.
I don't suspect that they didn't follow the guidelines of the contract, but sometimes it's good just to double check figures.
No, they've been absolutely
Yeah.
game savers.
No, I'm not challenging the
Yeah.
integrity of Baker Tilly by any means.
Yeah. Are there any other questions on the claims? If not, I'll need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the claims in the amount of $332,190.53.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Steve, seconded by Jamie. Is there any further discussion or questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have major illness claims, Dan.
So I signed off on a bunch, Madam Chairman. I think there were a total of like 14. So I would recommend that the board approve the MI request that I signed off on.
What happened to that zero you had last?
Yeah.
They were
But
waiting.
that's what happened.
They were saving up.
We need a motion to approve the major illness claims.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 14 major illness claims that have been run through by Dan.
I second that motion.
We have a motion by Jamie, seconded by Joetta. Is there any further discussion or question? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any other business deemed to come before this board at this time? Randy, did you have something? Nope. Oh, you were sitting there, I thought maybe. Is there anything else? If not, I will ask for an adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Scott, seconded by, was it Jamie or Steve? Jamie. To adjourn, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a great, safe day. Get your waiters in.